What's up, you guys? This is HJ here, and in today's video I'm going to be restoring a Lenovo T410 using the ChromeOS Flex operating system. Now, one of the key benefits to the ChromeOS Flex operating system is it can be installed on almost any old device to make it function and run like new again. Another benefit to ChromeOS is that it's generally lighter operating system, and it usually has more features stored in the cloud, which will actually make your device run a lot faster. And because it's lightweight, as you can see from the battery life indicator at the bottom, it'll actually help you a little bit with your battery life, or at least it should. Now, right now I've already began the installation process. You can see I have the USB stuck in the side over there. And after this thing installs, I'm just going to walk you guys through the setup of how you guys will proceed after installing it. And one of the key things you need to know in order to install it and write it to the USB drive is that you need to have Chrome web browser installed on another device, and you will need the Chromebook recovery utility installed. And once you have that installed and you click on that extension, it will walk you through the steps that you need to get this operating system. And then once you have it, plug it into whatever device you want to restore. And what it should do is it should give you the boot menu options when you reboot your computer. Some computers may launch it automatically. Other computers like this one, you will have to boot into the BIOS, into the boot menu, and launch the operating system install from the USB, meaning you, instead of launching your Windows from the hard drive, you will actually launch the USB drive as the operating system, and then that will put ChromeOS Flex onto the computer. One of the things that I will note here as to why the screen is flickering is because this particular device, as a T410, is a really old ThinkPad. Is this particular device, because of the type of screen that it has, it will flicker in the video. So I do advise with caution that for any viewers that are sensitive to this sort of flickering, like some people, like with different types of, I don't know, maybe you're like me and you have autism and you might not be on the high end of the spectrum necessarily, or you might have some other epilepsy or other disabilities, I would caution you guys to skip ahead for the time being, at least so that you guys will not have to worry about the screen flickering, triggering any seizures or anything like that. But if you guys are comfortable with this video and you guys would like to proceed, then you guys can stick with me through this video, and it's going to shut down like that, and it's supposed to do that, and then it's just going to boot it. Then you just have to press the button, and it should just boot right up. Main reason I've been installing this is because I've been having issues, I don't know what that is, with the keyboard, some of the keys not working. So with this ChromeOS Flex, my hope is that these keys, the E, D, C, and 3, and the F3, and everything above the 2 and diagonal from there, all of those keys that have been having issues in the past, they will no longer have issues, hopefully. And so hopefully that actually works to my benefit. I'm just going to hit the enter key there to get started. It's going to pull this up. Now the first thing you want to do is type in your Wi-Fi, so I'm just going to hover my thing up here so that you guys can't see my password. I'm going to type in the Wi-Fi password here. You guys cannot see it. Okay, there we go. It's connecting just like normal. And one of the things that I did notice is that the keys on this keyboard, listen to me carefully. If you have a keyboard problem or any kind of problem, if you install ChromeOS Flex, hopefully it will work. Hopefully. And that's only if, for whatever reason, and actually, hold on. I've got a little bit of an issue here, so, alright, hold on. Yeah, so one of the keys is still not working, so let me get a keyboard really quickly. I just let my camera follow me through the room for just a second. I'm gonna get a keyboard. I'm just going to set this down for the time being. 1 second. Got on the keyboard. And I'm going to plug this in, and I'm going to use this keyboard. And so I'll type it in this way. Sometimes when you're using the ChromeOS Flex operating system, like in this case, it may not work. And so if in fact it does not work, one of the things that I would suggest doing is basically trying to see if there's anything wrong with the drivers, or even in general, especially if it's a keyboard issue, you may just have an issue with this particular hardware on the device itself, and you may need to replace it. So that's a possibility as well. And now I'm also gonna have to put in a Google account. All ChromeOS Flex devices will require a Google account. This is not Windows 10 or Windows 7 where you can just skip having the operating system without a user profile, like account profile. Excuse me, I should clarify. It will require you to have a Google account. So it's not going to let you bypass that. You will not be able to get past it if you do not have a Google account. But it's not a big deal because most of us have other devices. We can create a Google account on our phones or whatever device we need to create a Google account. I mean, heck, if you're at the library, you could even create a Google account in your library and then just come straight back home. There are actually some people that would actually do that. I'm pretty sure there are. So I'm just gonna put on dark theme because I like to be a wizard here. Let's go ahead and get started. ChromeOS Flex has now been installed. One thing that I will note though for ChromeOS Flex is that I don't think it has Google Play Store support. So that seems to be one of the underlying issues, because I don't see the Play Store anywhere in here. So it might not even allow you to have the Google Play Store on this device. So be aware of that. Maybe in a future update, or in maybe like a beta version, they may have it. But for right now, it's just the web store and the default apps. And if you access your cloud gaming through the web, then you can pin those as apps to your start menu, and it'll show up over here, like the Xbox Cloud Gaming, for example. And now I'm actually going to do some research because I want to see what's wrong with these keys. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to walk you guys through how to find the keyboard drivers. And even if it doesn't work, it's still helpful. So I'm going to type in Lenovo T410 keys not working. That's control keys. I want regular keys. I'm just going to type in keys. And here we can see that there are different answers, results. And so there's also some different troubleshooters you can run, but most of them are going to be Windows. So that's also another thing. And these are just some of the steps you can take. I'm not going to be able to test all of them, but these are just some of the steps that you can take to fix your keyboard. And I'll leave a link to this website in the description as well, so you guys can find it. Hopefully I'll be able to update it with the description later, and you guys can find out where to do it. Or optionally, you guys can Google it. Maybe there are some results that I may have missed that might help with that. But for right now, this is just not a very good working keyboard at the moment. It's a very bad keyboard at the moment. Okay. So, and actually, you guys do have a terminal on ChromeOS, and let me show you how to access that. So what you would type in, and you would type in is terminal, and you would open the terminal, and you actually have to set it up. So you have to set up the developer options and all that in developer settings. But once you get the developer settings up and running, you guys do have a terminal. It's like command prompt, but it's in Linux format, because Chromium and ChromeOS run on a Linux base code. Basically, how do I put this? Linux has over 300, maybe well over 300 distros and different variations of Linux. The most common known being Ubuntu, Zora. I want to say Lineage is probably based on Linux as well. Android operating system is based on Linux. The ones that you guys use on your phone, believe it or not, that's actually the base code for Android. It's a mobile version of it, but it's still an extension of Linux. And then of course you have your other Linux distros like Kali, which I think is more for developers. You have a gaming themed one for PlayStation based players, and then of course you have your Chromium. And well, since ChromeOS is built on the Chromium platform mostly, and it has the Linux base code, ChromeOS is essentially just one of the many other extensions for the Linux operating system. So when you go into the terminal, you're not going to be putting in Windows commands like regular text. You're actually going to be putting in Linux commands. So if you do not know Linux commands, you will have to go to take a class. You might have to take some school courses, or you may have to pick up a Red Hat textbook like I had to for my classes when I was taking the Linux single user class at my college. So if you guys are not familiar with Linux commands, but you guys can always Google them too. I'm just trying to be funny. You guys can Google the Linux commands, and it will teach you guys how to use the terminal for different Linux commands, because like I said, ChromeOS will not accept most plain text commands like Windows does. It will require some special Linux characters and other special features. But that's all I have for now. I'm going to try and get this keyboard working off camera. That's what I meant to say. And I'm going to be working on this behind the scenes to see if I can get it working. So thank you guys for joining me in today's video, and I am out of here.